Holy smokes, look at that. I am right on time at 9 a.m. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Better Back virtual class. We are on class number 7 here, going live on the MotorCycles Physical Therapy page. Appreciate everybody who's been joining us. It's a fantastic Thursday out there. If you happen to catch us live here, make sure you type into the comments. Let us know that you're with us and that things are going well for you. If you're catching on replay, same thing. Let us know. Let us know what's good. I am offering these classes for the foreseeable future with a to-be-determined time frame. But just trying to bring a sense of what we do for people in the clinic here every day out into the real world. We typically run a low back therapy class every Thursday at 9 a.m. and it's in person, obviously, here. We've had a great group been doing it for 3 years. So just trying to take that sampling of that wellness and that prevention class and bring it to everybody through the interwebs. So thanks for joining us. My name is Eric Wallace, and I am a physical therapist by nature, but nowadays I am trying to basically become a well-rounded health coach for everybody. So as we take our experiences with everything that's going on, we got the mental side of things, we got the physical side of things, we got the nutrition side of things. So I am learning a lot in the whole process, hopefully just like everybody else is, but we're here for you. So point being, no haircut yet, Mary Lou, no haircut. How could you tell? So we're here for you. Really, at the end of the day, what we want you to do is use this class to help with wellness and prevention. If you're feeling stiff, tight, achy, those sorts of things. But if you're having specific issues, back or otherwise, make sure you reach out to us and let us know. We can help you. I'm happy to hop on the phone with you. I'm happy to use our digital physical therapy services, which we're offering, and we're also open in person as well on a case-by-case basis. So let us know, and we're happy to help you. Type into the comments, let us know, and let us know how you're doing. Let us know what's good. Good morning, Sarah. How are you? Thanks for hopping on. And at the end of today, I've kind of taken on a PSA of the day. So if you want to listen to me get on a little bit of a soapbox or a mental health rant at the end of class, stay tuned for today. Or if you don't want to work out with us, just hop back on in about 45 minutes because I'm going to talk about the greatest gift that we have as human beings and how you can use it to your advantage in these interesting times. All right? So let's get warmed up. Type into the comments. Let us know how you're doing. Say team live if you're live. Appreciate everybody that's live or on replay. Again, with these workouts, right? The overall pattern and programming doesn't drastically change. We try to get a little bit of variation each time, but it doesn't drastically change. But from day to day, week to week, you do, right? So we try to keep the principles and the theories of the movement and the progressions, the movement exploration, the trying to get mobile where we should be mobile, trying to get strong and stable where we should be strong and stable. We keep those the same. You might change, and so certain classes might benefit you more than other, but we try to keep the principles the same. So good alternating march here. Marching in place, or if you want, you can walk up and down your hallway at home. Get a little bit of a transition. We are squeezing the cheek on the stance leg, driving the opposite knee high. So no haircut yet. And my son, Logan, if you're out there watching, hi Logan, Luke, and Jenny. But my son Logan decided to take the clippers. I bought some hair trimmers. We're gonna do our alternating lunge here. So a little mini lunge, rotate over the leg that's forward, trying to keep the lower body nice and stable. Soft knees, challenge the balance and stability a little bit here. Get those shoulders and that spine turning as far as you can. My son Logan I got home yesterday, and my son Logan, I didn't notice it right away, but he had a spot in his hair that there was just no hair right in front, and everything else nowadays for them is hanging down almost to their eyebrows. But he had a spot missing in the front, and at first I thought it was just the way his hair was sitting, but he actually took the liberty of grabbing the hair clippers and just giving himself a little stripe right up the middle there. So he kind of forced my hand that I will at least be having to cut their hair, if not my own, at some point here. Because Logan, you look awesome, all right? If you're watching, I'm going to say I like the look, but your teachers and your friends, if we ever get back to that point, may not agree with me. So now, shoulders, upper body stay square. We take that leg, I'm going to put all my weight on my left. I'm going to rock this right leg up and over. Okay? Go at your own pace, tempo, and range of motion. If you can only get here for now, that's fine. But we want a big sweeping hip circle coming up and over, keeping the shoulders square. So what else is good? What else is good? My wife Beth took spring break this week to give the kids some other liberties, and they are planning our menu for the week, and they're actually doing quite a bit of the cooking. Good, go ahead and switch sides. Again, stance leg, you're trying to balance on. Take the other leg up and around. Pelvis and hips are turning. Shoulders stay like two headlights straight forward. I'm really, if I'm up to it, I'm just tapping this left leg and keeping all my weight on my right. I'm not shifting my weight that much. So our kids are planning our menu and doing a lot of the cooking this week. So you can probably guess what we had for lunch and dinner yesterday. And no, unfortunately, it was not JD's. Shout out to JD's. If you need a good drive-in experience, good burger, good ice cream, good shake, good cheese curds. Yes, your healthcare practitioner is telling you it's okay to have a cheese curd from time to time. Good, rest. Let's see who's all hopping on here. Christopher, hey Deb, good morning. Thanks for hopping on. Side lunge. Taking one leg out to the side, kicking the hips straight back. Soft knee, soft here, trail leg stays straight. Let's get a little bit of extra flavor here. Rotate the spine towards the hip that you're leaning towards, okay? So twist the shoulders and the spine. I'm moving to my right here. Twist your spine and your shoulders to the right. Load up that back side a little bit more. Show you side angle. So we'll work a little bit, quite a bit more on our hip mobility today. Gonna get warmer, folks. Right now, interesting stat. Heard from one of my 20 different weather people that I have talking to online and in the clinic here. We are the coldest place on Earth right now, or we were yesterday, or something like that. Switch sides. What I mean by that is relative to our normal temperatures for this time of year, we are the coldest place. I don't want to botch it. I don't know if it was America or continent or Earth, but anyways, we're cold relative to the normal. I guess that's all we need to know. So we can take home a first place trophy, at least for that. Not sure that's the stat we want to have, but it's gonna warm up. Good, keep working. Show you the side. You can just keep your standard side lunge if the rotation's not helping you. I like the rotation just to load up that hip even a little bit more on that side. Very good, very good. How's everybody doing? Leah, how you doing this morning? Thanks for hopping on. Great to see you. Leah, we gotta get that glute program going for you soon. Hopefully that's working out well. I got all sorts of ideas. Good. Hands on the wall. Okay, get the hands on the wall. Get a little bit of body weight into it. We're driving a knee up and across now. Really focus on trying to drive that knee up and across using our oblique muscles. A little bit of the hip flexor in front. Comfortable tempo for you. Again, this is just to get range of motion, get the heart elevated a little bit, get some blood pumping. Sometimes the warm-up is actually tougher than some of the first exercises, which is okay. Simple little thing to think about. You can focus on keeping your toes pointed straight forward, especially in the stance leg, and as you rotate up and around. If you're toed out quite a bit, you don't get as much range of motion through the hips. So keep those toes pointed straight forward and then try to rotate up and around that. Okay? Gives you a little extra stretch on the hip. Now switch to the upper body. We're going to do a thread the needle move. So slide the arm up, slide the other arm through. Still try to keep the hips pointed straight forward like two headlights. Slide one arm up, other arm through, leverage right on the wall. Good, breathe, then reverse over to the other side. Very good. Excellent work. So, hopefully we got some movement happening. Get the heart rate up a little bit. We're just exploring some movements today. That's all we're doing. We're exploring different movements. There's really no right or wrong. I'm just kind of guiding you through here, working from the ground up. So, we are going to start with our usual suspects here. And then we're going to, like we did on Tuesday, we're going to work on some progressions. So feet nice and wide. Think about trying to increase your width each class here. The wider you start with the feet, the more challenge and kind of dynamic stress you put on the hips. Good stress anyway. Let's work side to side. Knees are like windshield wipers going side to side. Rib cage and shoulder blades staying flat on the ground. Pelvis and low back can rotate and come with you. So, April 16th today? Unbelievable. I was telling somebody yesterday, this time frame is kind of like having newborns from a time aspect. It reminds me of when we had newborns. The days seem to be a little bit longer. Not in a bad way necessarily. The days just seem to be longer, but time itself seems to be going really, really fast. So hard to imagine that you've been out of school, kids have been out of school for coming up on a month here. Good, cross the right ankle over the left knee. So that was an interesting, I had a flood of thoughts in my head about what it was like when we had newborns, which I don't remember much of it, but the days were long, but the years are short. Right ankle over the left knee, still working side to side here. Again, if you're hopping on, just to say hi, type into the comments, let us know what's good. Anybody struggling with anything specifically, don't be afraid to reach out. We'll hop on a digital physical therapy session if you don't want to come in. If it's bad, let's get in here and get you evaluated. So, Switch sides. One thing that I can guarantee you, talking to somebody that I truly respect yesterday, can guarantee you that right now we all need to be in our peak mental state, or about as peak as we can get, all things considered. And it is dang near impossible to be in an optimal mental state if your physical state is not optimal. So it's really hard to have one without the other. So don't let this time pass in pain, struggling, scared. We can help you. Good. Now, cross the right ankle back over the left knee. Drive your left foot down into the ground, lift the hips, shoot the right knee away from you. Return the hips back down to the ground slowly, then try to lift the left leg off the ground. Let's alternate back and forth, pushing down, lifting the hips, coming down, pulling the knees back towards us. Again, go at your own pace, tempo, range of motion here. Only do what you're comfortable with. Even a slight lift of the hips and a slight lift of the foot is a good challenge. Good, switch sides. Left ankle over the right knee. Driving the weight down through the foot, lifting the hips, coming back down, pulling the foot off the ground. Taking any note on if there's differences side to side. One side's tougher, weaker, tighter. I feel a little bit tighter in my left hip today. Extra challenge, we bring the hands together towards the ceiling on that bridge. Challenge the hips, pour a little bit more. Might make things a little shakier. One more each way. Good. Very good. Now, let's prop up onto our hands. Okay? So we're in this kind of TV watching position. Imagine I'm watching the TV sitting on the ground. Got my hands back behind me supported. I'm going to walk my feet a little bit wider again. Now from here, we're going to try to work side to side with the knees. Let's get into our flow now. So from Tuesday, we drop our knees to one side. Okay, if I drop my knees to the right, my right hand is going to stay put. I'm going to sweep my left hand forward in front of my shin. And I'm going to drop my chest down towards the ground. I'm breathing, melting into that position. And then I'm going to open back up, swing this hand around, come tall, try to rotate to my left. Okay? If you got it in you, you can just go right from here to tall, and then try to rotate your trunk to the left. All right? So that's a doozy. Return the hands back, switch up and over the other way. Good. Take your right hand now, bring it in front of the left shin. Drop the chest down to the knee. Breathe. Come up tall. Try to rotate the opposite way with your trunk. Good, reverse back. Let's get a couple each way here. Kind of find that end range, melt into it a little bit. Come forward. Good, come up tall. things here to consider. Be careful of knees, right? Get a little bit of torque on the knees with this move. And just be careful of overdoing it in any scenario. But if it's just tight and unusual, a new movement for you, breathe and work into it. How's everybody doing with this one? When you get done with this one, let me know. Type into the comments, let me know if you were able to do some variation of this, or if it was too much challenge on the hip range of motion. Good. Come on back up. All right. Now, we're going to go back to the ground, okay? And we're going to work on a little bit of our bridge progression. So, we're going to start working hips here. You can bring your hands together up towards the sky or hands down to the side. I apologize if I'm sounding a little scratchy. I need some water. I'm talking a lot. I might have to hop up and get some in a second. But we're going to bring the hands together towards the ceiling. We're going to lift the hips up, okay? If you don't want to do the challenging portion of this, you can keep the hands down to the side. We're going to try our best to stay here. All right, we're going to do our short, choppy walks with the feet down away from us, and then short, choppy walks back. And then reverse down, relax, back up. Short, choppy walks down. Good. Make sure you're alternating which foot goes first. The goal here, trying to keep the pelvis level, trying to keep the feet quiet, trying to have that movement be controlled. Should feel the hamstrings working a little bit here. It's okay for your back to be working, right? As long as you're feeling the buns and the hamstrings as well. Let's get one more. Good. Take your knees to your chest for a second. And if you want, you can kind of rock like an egg forward and back a little bit, side to side. Okay, good. Now, we're going to alternate back and forth between the back side and the front side. Eventually, we're going to work on to our side here. I'm going to straighten out my right leg, okay? I'm going to keep my left leg bent. If you have a weight at home, now is a good time to grab it. It doesn't need to be a lot. I would say even 2 or 3 pounds is okay. But I'm going to grab a 10-pound kettlebell here just to start. And I have the weight in my left hand, my left knee is bent, my right leg is straight, all right? What I'm going to do here is what we call a neutral trunk curl. So I'm going to lift just my shoulder blades up off the ground and kind of punch that weight towards the sky. If you don't have weights, don't worry. Just take both hands, punch them up to the sky. We're trying to lift the shoulder blades only. It's like I'm trying to draw my nose and my fists straight up towards the sky, clearing the shoulder blades off the ground, breathing, and then reversing back down slowly. Okay, give me one more here where we're just lifting the shoulder blades. Breathe. 2, 3, 4. Good, relax. Now let's add a little spice to it here. We're going to bring the shoulder blades off the ground and then bring our right leg straight up towards the sky. Reverse the leg back down slowly. Reverse the shoulders back down slowly. Shoulders, leg, pause, control it down, relax the shoulders, okay? Shoulders, flex the toes towards the nose, leg straight, reverse back down, relax. Let's get 2 more here. Lift the shoulders, leg. Good, down, and reverse back with the shoulders. Shoulders, breathe. Leg. Very good. Very, very good. Let's switch sides. So, whether you have weight or not, we're going to switch so the right knee is bent. Now the left leg is straight. I'm going to punch my weight with my right hand towards the sky. First couple movements, I'm just lifting the shoulder blades. Pausing and breathing at the top. Good. After we lift the shoulder blades now, add a little bit of a straight leg raise. Slow and controlled on the way down. Shoulder blades, leg, leg, shoulder blades. Let's get two more here. Good. Very good. Relax. Take a second, shake anything out. Catch your breath for a second. How's everybody doing out there? Hopefully everybody's hanging in there. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. All right, so we got one more for the buns, one more for the front. All right, this is a little mini superset here. So from our back side now, we're going to take one knee and we're going to pull it to the chest. All right, you can grab in front of the knee or behind the thigh, whatever works. We're trying to pull the knee to the chest, but it doesn't have to be super, super tight. All right, we just kind of want it up and out of the way. What we're going to start with, I have my left knee to my chest, my right knee is bent, my foot is flat. I'm going to drive weight down through my right foot and try to do a single leg bridge from here. Pause at the top, come down slowly. This should be a little bit more challenging than the bridge we did before where the ankle was crossed over the knee. Giving ourselves a little bit more resistance to fight against. Come up to the top, pause, down slowly. Good, now a little wrinkle here. Lift the hips up, push the knee out to the side slightly, come back in, come back down. All on one leg, right? So it's lifting up, a slight movement outwards with the hip, with the knee, back to the middle and down. Just catches a couple extra fibers of that glute muscle. If you can do that without cheating through your back, then your glute is definitely working. Good. Rest. Take a second here. Shake anything out that you need to. Okay, we're going to switch sides. I'm going to pull my right knee to my chest now. I'm going to drive my weight down through my left foot. We're lifting the hips up. Pause at the top. Down slowly. Single leg bridge here. Really, really good for working that back side. We call the posterior chain. You want to sound fancy at your virtual happy hour tonight? You can tell everybody how you worked your posterior chain today. You're going to say, what the heck are you talking about? Posterior chain. Fancy word for the back side of your body's muscles. Good. Now, try a couple where we lift, push that knee out to the side slightly, back in, down. You can see I get a little bit shakier there. Not good, Eric. Not good. Up, out to the side, back in. Whew. That is work on that side. I wonder why I have left knee issues. Up, out, in. Okay, not issues, but say when I run every now and then, the left knee will act up, out, in. Good, a lot different on that side for me. Take a second, shake anything out. Now, going back to the front side. All right, one more thing here. We're going to work onto our side after this. Everybody doing okay? Just give me a virtual thumbs up. Classes again. Principles of working from the ground up stay the same. Every class is a little bit different in terms of the challenge, but hopefully you're with us. So I'm going to go same setup as before. Left knee bent. If you don't have weight, don't worry. If you have a little bit of weight, great. Let's put the weight in the left hand. Even if it's a soup can or a milk jug or whatever you got. We're going to bring our opposite arm. So I have my left hand has the weight, right arm angled out to the side. Now we're going to work on, we're going to drive that weight up towards the ceiling, come up onto our elbow, come up tall, prop myself up here. It's a pretty good looking pose, if I do say so myself. Drop back down slowly onto the elbow, slowly roll back onto your back, okay? So we're using the core muscles to kind of drive that weight up towards the ceiling, prop up on our elbow, propping up onto our hand, coming tall. That weight should stay straight up and down. Slow return to the elbow. How slow can you go? Control that, control it, control it, control it. Good. Give me two more good ones. Up towards the sky, up tall, reverse back down slowly. No weight is fine, right? No weight is fine. Even with no weight, you're working against gravity, working the weight of your trunk. Slow reverse, back down. Ooh, that wasn't too slow. Good. Switch sides. Shake anything out that you need to. We're going to go right leg bent, left leg straight. Drive that weight on the right hand up towards the sky. Bring the left elbow off to the side. We're going to prop up onto the elbow. Come up tall. Kind of see how tall I got that arm now. Good. And then reverse back to the elbow. Little side oblique muscle there. Roll back slowly. Abs, 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 abs. Oh, look at the difference there, ladies and gentlemen. So, I am right-handed, right? A lot of things I would do would be using my right arm and kind of the opposite side of the core, probably a little bit more of the left side of the core. But you can see, for me, the difference here. This is so much easier on this side, especially on the return portion, all right? Now, unless you're a Major League Baseball pitcher, a quarterback, you work on a factory line, something like that, those people would have a reason to be different side to side. If not, we really don't want to have any imbalances side to side with the muscle activation and control if we can help it. All right, so for me, it would behoove me to switch over, work on that other side a little bit more and get really good at it. Beautiful. Let's move forward. Where we at? How's everybody doing? Virtual thumbs up. Woo, time's flying. All right. So, one thing on our side, all right? We're going to get right into it. I don't have my foam roller, but you don't need it. Because we're just going to jump right into the challenge here. We've been working on these rotational patterns from our side. So what we're going to work on, we're going to do the open book with the scissors. So I'm going to have my feet stacked. I'm on my right side. My legs and feet are stacked. I'm going to lift my top foot up so it's slightly above the height of my hip. is I open the top half of my body and rotate my trunk. I'm kicking that leg forward. And then as I close the book and reach forward, that leg's going back behind me, okay? Alternating back and forth. The foot should stay the same height off the ground. So move forward and back here. When I reach forward with the hands, I'm actually probably reaching a little bit farther forward than I normally would just on top, hand on top of hand here. I'm actually trying to reach a little bit extra. Get that nice little extra rotation through the upper body. Good. Let's switch sides. Okay, feet are stacked. Legs are straight. Hands are stacked. We're lifting foot slightly. As I open the top half, right leg comes forward. As I close the top half, right leg goes back. Hopefully you can hear me breathing. That means you should be too. Foot staying the same height off the ground as we move forward and back. One more open. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Good. Very good. Alrighty. Let's transition on to hands and knees here. Okay, take your time, shake anything out that you need to. We're going to work on the hands and knees. So we're going to get right into it here, okay? We're going to work on our hip circles. I can hear the collective groan out there from everybody who knows what I'm talking about. Hip circles, right? Control articular rotations, that ball and socket joint of the hip. Let's get really good at going through a full range of motion. That knee stays bent 90 degrees. Right now I'm up towards my chest. Bring my knees together to touch. Then I sweep up towards the chest, back out to the side like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Flip that foot up towards the sky, get some hip extension, bring it back to the middle of the body, and then back down to return, okay? So, want to get more mobility, more flexibility, something like this is going to be one of your best friends. We're using your own muscles and your own nervous system to control and dictate what position your joints are getting into. And you're doing the biggest range of motion you have in the slowest possible movement so that you use every single muscle fiber that you have around that joint. It'll sound like a broken record, but it's like hitting save on that Word document. You just wrote a really, really good message. Put it in your journal, you put it in your daily journal. You wrote a message to a friend. You don't want it to get erased. You don't want it to go away. So, we want to hit the save button on it. That's what this activity is all about. It's about using your own muscles to find new ranges of motion, and your body will appreciate you for that. Let's switch sides. So again, I feel like this is my max hip extension without cheating there, right? So A lot of times what we feel and what's actually happening is very different. I feel like that's a lot of hip extension for me. By appearances, it's not all that great, right? So something to work on would be to get really solid at that hip extension movement right there for me. Now as you do this and do a daily practice, which I highly recommend, make sure you're alternating which side you start with. So I typically, for whatever reason, I start the circles on my right side. By the time I get over working on my left, my right side's kind of gassed, and so when I'm stabilizing on this right side, I feel it a little bit more. Probably smart to just alternate those sides day by day, which side you start on. Give me one more each direction here. Very good. Very good. Take a second. Just stack yourself. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Just work your hips a little bit. You can bring your knees a little bit closer together. Just work your hips side to side a little bit. Get a little side body and hip stretch here. Think about kind of keeping your shoulders square, but just kicking your hips side to side. All right. Now, we're going to finish up with a little bit of a flow here, going from all fours to half kneeling to standing. Okay? If at any point your body doesn't agree with any of this, just max out and stop where you need to. All right? We're going to take the final portion. I'm going to show you how to work a lot of different things just by flowing in and out of 3 different positions, okay? So you can work a lot of different things by going from hands and knees to half kneeling to standing. And we're going to go over that right now to finish up class, okay? So before that, take a second, sit back on the heels. Let's go into some prayer stretch here. Child's pose. Sitting back on the heels, letting the head and chest drop. And then you can work on breathing in that position. And then let's walk forward. Walk the hands forward slightly. Let the pelvis and hips drop. Go into some extension. Ease into it, breathing. Want a little extra here, you can squeeze the buns. Just get a little extra extension. Good. Sitting back on the heels again. Head and chest drops, breathing. Now, the simplicity and the challenge of the last portion of class here today is very, very underrated. So they did not that I'm much for, I read research. I don't necessarily like to talk about it a lot because I think it just bores people to death. But one of the interesting studies they've done is an individual's ability to get off the ground without needing assistance from anything, right? So for a lot of people, you're going to say, yeah, that's nothing, right? But if you stop and think about it, some of us, because of different issues that we have, because of maybe aging and deconditioning, whatever it might be, it's not the easiest thing in the world to get up off the ground without using a chair, a couch, a bench, whatever it is. So this next exercise kind of falls in the bucket of, can we get really efficient at getting from the ground to standing? And within that, we get a lot of good challenges in mobility where we need it. We get a lot of good challenges in stability where we need it, and then we get a little bit of a leg strength builder out of it as well, okay? So I'm going to just change my camera a little bit here. How's everybody doing today? Good to see you. So, right, the ground to standing flow. and there's all sorts of variations which we can go through. But this is what I like, all right? We start all fours. We've done different portions of this. We start all fours. I'm going to take my right foot. I'm going to kick it out to the side, okay? I'm trying to get my foot as close to the outside of my hand as I can. If you have to be more back here, that's fine, right? But we try to get up, get a nice mobility on this right hip. I'm going to take that right hand and I'm going to open book up towards the sky, okay? Hip mobility, spine mobility, shoulder stability, all sorts of good stuff happening here. I reverse back down, right? I come up tall, I walk my foot in, and I drive my weight through my lead foot and a little bit through my back foot, and I come up to standing, okay? If you can do that in one fell swoop, awesome. Then I reverse back slowly, reverse lunge. Down onto my knee, kick that right foot out to the side, drop onto the hands, open book again, down, reverse back, all right? So work with me here. Left foot out to the side, kick it out. Foot to hand basically, okay? Get into that hip, get that groin stretched, feel that end range there. Take the left hand, open it up towards the sky. Okay? Upper back mobility, right shoulder stability now. A lot of good stuff happening. Reverse back down, catch your bearings, come up tall, transition that left foot to the middle without being all over the place if you can. Now drive your weight down through your lead foot and your trail foot, come up to standing. Okay? Reverse back slowly, reverse lunge down to the knee. Walk the left foot or sweep the left foot out to the side. Hands back down to the ground. Open up. Back to center. Okay? So that is a ground to upright flow that gets a lot of things with a couple movements. Open up. Hands back down. Oops. Sorry. Open up. Hands back down, come up tall. One movement if you got it. Square the feet up with the shoulders. Okay, there's that stability challenge there. Now here's where if you need to, right, I'm just trying to use only legs to come from half kneeling to standing, okay, and then reversing back down slowly. But couple progressions here. You can use your hands on your thigh to kind of push up and come that way, right? Not ideal, but if you have to, you can get your body weight and your momentum moving forward, right? So kind of lurching your trunk forward a little bit and coming up that way, all right? But you can use hands on the thigh here, lurch forward a little bit, and drive up that way if that helps you at all. But the goal should really be to try to get good and controlled. Sweep that leg out, down to the ground, open, down, reverse back, left side, foot out, open up, close it, come up tall, controlled walk over, good, up to standing, reverse back down slowly, kick that left leg out to the side, drop to the hands, open, you're breathing at every stage here. Good. Get a couple more on each side. Right foot. Open. Tall. Slow and controlled. If you can do it in one movement. Right foot centers. Drive up through the legs. Back down slowly. Sweep the foot out. Slowly, controlled. Down. Open again. All the way back to center. Those looking for a little extra challenge, okay, when we get to the top and we're standing, we're going to drive the opposite foot up towards drive the opposite knee up towards the ceiling and try to balance. So, like this. And reverse back, right back down, slow. Walk the foot out, down to the hands, open book. So you could do this of course, is ideally you'd be warm, right? But you could basically do this for 5-10 minutes a day, have a really good kind of total body flow, mobility, strength, stability. Drive that knee high, stick it, a little tougher on my right side, back down slowly. On that single leg stance, you're squeezing that cheek. You could get a really good flow, right? You could get some lower body work from it, some balance work, some hip mobility. I'm going to do one more on my left and then call it. Breathing in each position. That movement right there, right? That one is just fun. If your kneecap on the kneeling leg can handle it, that's just a good challenge right there to work forward and back without being all over the place. Good. And then drive that knee high. Stick the balance. Squeeze the cheek. And reverse back down. Awesome. Wonderful job today, guys. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. So, you can take some time to work on your breathing if you'd like. Appreciate everybody that's hopping on here. So, I told everybody, hopefully I can get through this without needing a drink, but I told everybody, if you wait till the end, you're going to hear my take. I'm starting a kind of organic, seems to be an organic PSA, or a mental health thought of the day, if you will, at the end of these sessions. So, the greatest gift that we have, I'll say one of the greatest gifts, because there's a lot, right? And this is probably falling a little bit more on the selfish side of things, but we have to be selfish in life so that we can take care of others. We got to kind of sometimes take care of ourselves so we can take care of others. So, one of the greatest gifts that we have as human beings is we have a higher level of operating system. And what that means is that there are individuals in the nature, there are animals in nature that the only thing that they can do to certain situations is to react, right? So if you think about a wild animal, the fight or flight whole phenomenon, they have some sort of stress thrown at them. They only can react. They don't have the ability to necessarily be self-aware and have this conscience of what's happening. And so they react, and they're a wild animal, and that's what they do, and that's nothing that we can hold against them. That's kind of their nature, right? So a lot of people right now, because of everything that's going on, and because of all the stuff that's out there, we're reacting, right? We're actually, not intentionally always, but we're reverting back to a wild animal-like fight or flight reaction to things. And it doesn't have to be that way, okay? So the greatest gift that we have as human beings is we have the choice to decide how we respond to things, all right? We don't react, we respond. Many of us are reacting right now, but if you can take a second and realize that you have the choice, you have the option. Most of us, hopefully, good Lord willing, everything is operating normally, and we're not being held against our will or anything like that. We have the choice to decide how we're going to respond to what's happening, all right? And if you respond to things rather than reacting, you might find that your days go a heck of a lot better, okay? So it's not necessarily to say that there's no weeds, and that your garden is beautiful all the time, but you do have the choice, always, to pull those weeds, right? And focus on the beautiful garden that you have. You do have that choice. Not every animal in nature has the choice to respond. They have to react. So my PSA of the day is think about that great gift that you have, that regardless of what happens, regardless of less than optimal temperatures outside, regardless of what somebody's posting on Facebook, regardless of what the mass media is telling you, you have the choice to respond to that. You also have the choice not to be looking at that stuff or reading that stuff at all, but realistically, if you are, you have the choice to respond in a very certain way. You can decide how you're going to respond to that. Okay, that is a phenomenal gift, right? Very, very, very simple, potentially cheesy, but you cannot underestimate the power of that, and what a great gift that is, that we can choose how we're going to respond to something. So more of us, let's respond. Let's not react, right? Let's respond to what's happening. Let's not react. And I think it's going to make a lot of us a lot happier, a lot healthier. And if we're choosing to respond in proactive ways, then there's opportunity in all of this madness, okay? So again, I'm not saying that there's not weeds in the garden. I'm not saying that there are not some people that are struggling and that don't, that don't deserve to be stressed and upset and anxious right now. And it's going to happen. But in any situation, regardless of where we're at, we have the opportunity and the choice to decide how we respond. I will leave you with that today. Take that thought while you work on some box breathing. I appreciate everybody for being on. Tuesdays and Thursdays, live at 9 a.m. Modus RX Physical Therapy page. And share, please. Tell your friends, please. And let's get moving. Other PSA of the day. It's dang near impossible to be in your peak mental state if you're not in a peak physical state, all right? So that's where we hope that we can help you, and that's what we're here for. If anybody has any specific needs, make sure you let us know. If you just want to talk, the overwhelming number of people that I talk to say how good it is to get out of the house or just hear a different voice. Send me a text, send me a call. I'm happy to respond and chat about something fun with you, all right? Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you all on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Thank you.